It's gonna be Jonah Jameson is controlling everybody to go against Spider-Man. He
Oh man, that would be cool.
This is the Villainz Lair podcast. Welcome to the lair.
And welcome everyone inside the Villainz Lair on a Tuesday. So glad that you are with us today. Alvin and Ryan. Alvin, how are you doing today, brother?
Hey, top of the morning in the West Coast. Not really top of the morning, but I'm caffeine free today, and I just woke up. So what's going on?
Yeah, we both are caffeine free today, and we promise it won't be a struggle. We'll get through this one today.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of good ones. We'll have a couple of good ones.
Yeah, plenty of good stuff to talk about today, but want to remind everyone that, never miss an episode. You can download the podcast in audio version wherever it is that you download your podcast, whether it's Apple, whether it's Amazon or Spotify. You can go to the Villainz Lair there and subscribe to the channel so you always get your episodes on the go to listen to at the gym, on a run, at work, in your car, wherever it is. We're with you.
That's right. That's right. Listen to our voices while you run and sweat and gasp for air. It's very fulfilling in your cardio.
Yes, yes, it is. Another thing we want to remind you is you can still enter to win a free copy of Insomniac's Wolverine on the PlayStation 5. All you have to do is be a subscriber to the YouTube channel, the Villainz Lair YouTube channel, then head over to Instagram, follow the Villainz Lair account, and then find our pinned sweepstakes post. You got to like it and share that post with 3 of your friends. It's that easy, and you get a chance to earn a free copy of a game that looks amazing.
Yeah, if you're mad that Wolverine on PlayStation 5 is not an open world, get it for free on us and be mad about it while playing it for free.
There's so many other things in life to be upset about. And the fact that we're upset that Wolverine of all things isn't open world um, still is mind boggling to me.
Yeah. Figure I should mention that for those who are actually upset about it. So there you go. I mentioned it.
Yeah, there you go. Just the elephant in the room has been exposed, and we'll move on. We're excited for Wolverine. We think it's dope. I'm sure it is going to be one of the biggest selling games of the year.
Yeah,
for sure.
Violence. So
exactly. All right. So speaking of Insomniac, their other main character, Spider-Man, he's got a movie coming out July 31st. So lots of promotion and interviews and things like that with the cast are happening right now. So Tom Haolland is an open book, and he says that despite all the trailers, despite all the posters and merch, the villain of Spider-Man Brand New Day is still very much a secret. So we know that we don't know who Sadie Sink is. Is that what he's referring to? We've heard whispers about the Jackal and his potential involvement, although those are, those are the smallest breadcrumbs, for that right there. And then, we've seen all these, we've seen the Hulk, we've seen Scorpion, and all these other villains that they're creating homages to famous covers with. If that is indeed true, that Tom Haolland is saying we still don't know the villain of Brand New Day, then I got nothing at this point.
Well, let me ask you this: who's controlling the hand? Who and
Sure.
why are they going after Spider-Man? And everybody's going. Obviously, Hulk is going after Spider-Man too for some odd reason.
Yeah.
You got Scorpion in there. You got a bunch of villains going after him. And we've been through a lot with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's been through a lot. He's been in outside Earth. He's been in space. He's been in kind of at a different timeline. So he's all over the place now. And Spider-Man, not only that, but now you're saying Sadie Sink could be Jean Grey. Listen, I don't want the X-Men to be Spider-Man's villains in this one.
Yeah, it seemed would be an
Um,
odd choice. I agree.
yeah, but looking at this poster too, it's just like, who is? There's always a big bad in every film, but who
Hmm.
is the ultimate big bad in this one? Maybe that's what he's referring to. Maybe there's someone else controlling this.
Yeah, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think there has to be you just can't have this like buffet line of villains with not necessarily different motives, but probably different motives if I'm looking at
Yeah,
just everyone on this screen right here, right? And I think you also hit it on the nail on the head with the hand. They're the most out of place out of everything here. Hulk makes
yeah,
sense. The thing on his wrist breaks and the monster is free, right? Scorpion and Boomerang and Tarantula and all these street level villains, they're guys that he tangles with in New York City all the time. They make sense. But the Hand specifically, they're out of place here as far as like what could they possibly want. So I think you may be definitely going down the right path on who's controlling the Hand or who's hired the Hand or you know their motives, whoever is behind their motives. I think we're looking at who is the main villain of this film.
it's gonna be Jonah Jameson is controlling everybody to go against Spider-Man. He
Oh man, that would be cool.
he finally did it. He finally got some allies with him to defeat this little insect that he always hated. So there you go. Spoiler alert: Jonah Jameson is the ultimate bad.
You know what, we're gonna save that clip, and when you're right, it's gonna be great because you're gonna have the biggest receipt there is, and you'll be able to post that. Yeah, we're just a little over a month away now, and we're gonna find out. I think that it's got to be, whoever's pulling the strings of the Hand. That's what we're looking at, and I think that's gonna ultimately be where we go. It'll be interesting to see if in any more TV spots or anything you get like a little bit of little clues here and there still to come, but
Yeah, I'm sure.
at this point they've done a great job despite all the leaks of everything that we've that's happened with these hacks and stuff. They've been able to hide this part,
Yeah.
and you got to give them credit for that.
You you crazy criminals leaking a trailer that's coming out a week prior to the release. Oh boy.
You just couldn't wait for $500 was the asking price.
Yeah. But you know what I'm actually most excited about on brand new day is Spider-Man finally meeting Punisher is the most I'm excited about. And I can't wait for that scene. Hopefully I don't see any peek on it when they first actually meet. And also, you gotta have Daredevil coming showing up eventually, and that's like what people are hoping. Because if Daredevil's not in there, I might be extremely upset.
Yeah, there Punisher's history in comics is so closely tied to Spider-Man, all of his early appearances and some great moments from the Civil War series, and yeah, they
Right,
definitely have a rich history together
right.
in comics, and it's awesome. And just in real life, personally, Tom Holland and John Bernthal are so close. They each, kind of worked with each other for their auditions for Marvel. Those, when you hear them tell those stories, they're so cool.
That's really cool. I met John Berthel one time during the premiere of Walking Dead at a New York Comic Con, and he was like just the coolest dude ever. And I would have never thought that he would have became Punisher, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean that's really cool. And also like I was saying with Daredevil, we've seen Matt Murdock on the big screen once. I'd love to see the suit in there. And everyone's been like showing the prison scene, and they're like, "Oh yeah," everyone's, just guessing that, "Oh, he's going to break Matt Murdock." So,
I think I think at the very minimum, we go by his cell and he's sitting in his cell and he looks up and it's like, "Hey, what?" And then he's like distracted and he's got to go fight. And we get like just a quick cameo. I think at the minimum, you know.
right. I know it'd be interesting too how it would tie up to like Daredevil Born Again if he was there, and now they're gonna be. Have they even talked about Spider-Man at all? Because
In
like
Daredevil?
yeah, I feel like they
Hmm.
have. They've
Hmm.
definitely like in the Netflix one, they've definitely mentioned the battle in New York for sure.
Right, you get like Kingpin and a guy in a spider costume.
Oh right, yeah. Oh god, he's the best.
He is the best. He is the best. So we'll find out here. Hopefully, maybe we get some breadcrumbs and some clues before the release. But we'll find out here in about a little over a month. Some big DC news, right, Alvin?
Yep, that's right. From New York City to Gotham, we have to talk about Batman Nightfall, man. We have these images from this rated R animation. That's right, rated R. And these stills, man, they're kind of pulling heavily from like Kelly Jones, the legendary artist who illustrated the iconic covers for the original 1990s Nightfall comic run. And for those of you who hasn't read the legendary 90s comic, this is basically the ultimate gauntlet match. The massive powerhouse Bane empties out Arkham Asylum, forces Batman to fight his entire rogues gallery until he's completely gassed, and then finally steps to the ring to hit him with the most devastating backbreaker in comic book history. And supposedly we have a
Hmm.
multi-part animated movie slated for 2026. And hopefully, and I think DC Animation will do justice for the storyline that literally broke the bat.
Justice, you say?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean this
justice.
image right here, man. I talked about earlier, man. It's just it hurts my back just looking at this image.
Yeah. Jeez.
This is right before. I'm guessing this is right before that happens. Whew. I know that there were obviously hints of this storyline, like in Nolan's Dark Knight Rises. You get the back-breaking scene with Bane, but
Yeah.
this is going to be a lot closer to what we saw in the Nightfall comic, and Bane, geez, I mean, this is what we're expecting. This is what we, have come to know his look as, and this is gonna be devastating. I really like this Mr. Freeze
Yeah.
image. This looks really cool. It's kind of almost a combination of the animated series, which is so iconic, and I love the glasses and that like retro futuristic version of him. And then there's like almost a little bit of like not to scare you too much, but I do see a little Batman and Robin Schwarzenegger's influence in here.
I was gonna say because I tried to rewatch that movie. And look, you have Bane and Mr. Freeze. When was the last time we saw Bane and Mr. Freeze on screen?
Hmm.
A long time ago with Joel Schumacher. Uh yeah, I mean it's cool. I like some people are like crapping because they're basing it off like the covers and not so much the pages inside the comic book. But I don't give a flying F. Like the art looks really cool to me nonetheless, man. I mean, look at that. Um look at the
Do we know
style
who's
of it.
gonna voice Batman?
I'm not sure yet,
Because
actually.
obviously the late Kevin Conroy isn't around. He would have been
Yeah.
like the no-brainer for something like this. Let's see if IDB has uh,
I
a
think if he
cast.
was still around, he retired the voice anyway, didn't he?
Oh, maybe. But I think
Yeah,
that was kind of due to what he was going through.
right.
Um, yeah, they
My
don't have any casting on here.
in CW when they had when they introduced Batman in there because they had the Flashpoint version of CW's Arrowverse. They had Kevin Conroy as Batman, and I went ape shit when
That
he
was
was
cool.
actual well, not Batman, but he was like Bruce Wayne. He
Uh-huh.
was like a beat up Bruce Wayne, and it was actually him, and it was so freaking cool just to have him like on screen. And some for people who didn't know he was voicing Batman forever, they were just like, "Who's this guy?" But then to the people that just think of him as God like us, it was like such a cool sight to see.
You know who I really enjoyed as a voice in one of the animated films? I'm trying to remember. It might have been um the Red Hood film where he voiced Batman was Jensen Ackles, who's
Oh,
from
that's
Supernatural
right.
and Soldier Boy. I thought he did
Yeah,
a really good job as
yeah,
Batman, and wouldn't mind seeing him pick up some of these
yeah.
roles again like that.
That's awesome. They're finally doing it. It took them a little bit to do this though, and for this for this series, it was like a lot of fans love this series, and they were waiting for it. I mean, people were excited when it first came out when Bane popped up and Batman and Robin, and then you know uh, eventually in Christopher Nolan's trilogy, but no one was ever really like, okay, they perfected Bane from beginning to end. And
Hmm.
and this one, I feel like in the animated version, we're really gonna get the series that people have been clamoring for when Batman really got his ass beat and got his back broken.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday as far as like DC animation always knocking it out the park.
Yeah,
I mean their success rate is definitely in the high 90 percentile. Like they are always so good. They even on things where they're kind of like off the wall ideas, whether it's something like
right.
Batman Ninja that's just like so
Yeah,
obscure but so fun and such a cool concept. I've watched Batman Ninja way more times than I care to admit over the airwaves, but
it's like Batman anime. It was cool.
it was super cool. And then they realized how cool it was, and then there's like Aztec Batman, and there's all these like offshoots and
Yeah,
multiversal ideas. So we there's DC Studios is so strong when it comes to dealing with their properties with in animation, and I think that we're gonna get another one. This is gonna be so cool because Bane releases the entire rogues gallery back out of Arkham into Gotham, and so it's like what is the series I'm trying to think of where they basically release the worst dudes out of hell, and this I guess Ghost Rider is a little bit like that, but they're I'm thinking of a TV series then, and it's escaping me right now. But it's such a cool concept. It's like, all right, let's go wrangle up the worst of the worst again and bring them back in, and who better than Batman, who has the best rogues
yeah.
gallery in comics.
I think what you're thinking of is Ghostbusters when they released all the ghosts and demons out
Yeah,
again.
there's definitely some of that for sure.
But yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I think that's been done a few times in different storylines, whether it's Marvel, DC, or like I mentioned, Ghostbusters. And it's funny to me when that happens. It's like, oh, you have to fight off all these villains again. When one by one, in the past it was a struggle to even put one in there. Now you gotta try to defeat all of them at the same time. How do you do it? You need help.
Yeah,
That's what you need.
it's like it's kind of like playing an Arkham game where you're gonna get all these villains in it at some
Yeah.
point, and that's what we're gonna see in this.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be cool. As far as anime, we talked about X-Men, 97 premiering in July 1st, but I'm really excited for this one too. And I remember like one of the feelings that I have with like DC animations, the same feeling I had X-Men was probably Young Justice, where they just had
Yeah.
multiple parts, and then there's always a cliffhanger for every episode, like soap opera ish, and it was really cool. Um, but man, Nightfall rated R though. That's what you got to be excited about.
Yeah. Where's, is that because it's going to be overly violent? Is that because there's some F bombs? And I'm curious to see like what pushes the threshold here of, we're going to see like some gore kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Are we gonna
we'll
see
see.
Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul go at it again?
I don't think we're gonna see that. I think the animation stays away from that. But that's cool. That's coming out later this summer. So keep your eye on that. That's gonna go straight to streaming and like your VOD type options like that. Well, that's gonna do it for today. But any final thoughts before we go, Alvin?
Yeah, man, I saw on the interweb that a new Funko Pop, Absolute Batman and Absolute Wonder Woman Funko Pops are set to be released at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, exclusives.
Yeah, you ever get those exclusives, man? They're really hard to get. People line up for that like crazy.
Yeah, even when you find like, because if you're not at the event, obviously, then you have to go through the reseller market, and then it's all right. Well, how much are we hiking the price of these
Yeah.
up? If the person stood in like the craziest line, they might just to be petty or out of spite, quadruple the price of it. It just depends.
And it sells too.
Yeah, and it sells. It sells. It's because if they're super limited, then I get it. Then the price should be high. But if there's like a run of 500 of these things, and they're just because they were sold there is some exclusivity, but there's a lot of them, then the price will obviously not be as crazy. But
Yeah.
we should also say there is also an Absolute Superman
Right.
version that's expected to come out as well, where he's midair and he kind of sits on a little stand. So they really took the Trinity and made sure they brought them all to life, and it looks dope. Like Batman is holding his axe, and Wonder Woman's got her massive sword in this one. So they did a good job with the design for sure.
Yeah, I never know these limited edition ones. It looks like it's supposed to be exclusive at San Diego Comic-Con. I've gotten like limited edition exclusives before, and then they would show up at the Funko Pop store. So I really in Hollywood. So they really, I don't know if they do, but if they mention it, like it's only really gonna be at the con, then that's a big difference. I remember the only exclusive I ever got was from New York Comic Con, which was a Nightwing one.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, and obviously I got that one. But other than that, like Funko Pop is still selling. So whoever said that company is dead, I guess not.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, before we go, we want to remind you that this show is not dead. This show is going strong. We're doing shows weekdays, Monday through Friday, a new episode every weekday. You can catch us on YouTube. So if you're watching right now, you obviously know that already. But like we said earlier in the show, you can go get the audio versions over at Amazon or Apple or Spotify. There's no excuse anymore. You can find us and you can listen to the best show on superhero news in the business, and help us by subscribing, help us by sharing this video or this podcast with your friends, with your family. And that just helps us continue to grow and continue to bring you all the things you need. So for Alvin, I'm Ryan. Thank you so much for stepping inside the Villainz Lair, and we will see you on the next one.